Hey guys, this is Christian from Low Rated Duelists, bringing you my first ever deck profile on the channel, and it's going to be for my favorite deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, which is Kozmo. I am a really huge Star Wars fan, so to me, when I first was exposed to Kozmo, I just thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and it's remained my favorite deck, and even though it's not the powerhouse it once was, I still have a lot of fun playing with it, and tweaking it and trying to make it as best I can. This is a pure Kozmo build, I'm not running any of the Fire King Island stuff. I'm not teching anything else in. You won't see a single monster in here besides Max C that isn't a Kozmo monster. I try to keep it a very pure build because I'm a big fan of the archetype. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, we got the Dark Planet at 1. I could go without it, but I am a really big sucker for boss monsters, and I always have been, so I really love having Dark Planet in here, and just the fact that, the entire deck revolves around Kozmo Tin Can, sending cards to the graveyard. Kozmo Dark Planet can occasionally be just a great monster to have because he can negate spell effects is unlimited, a number of times depending on how many Kozmo monsters are in the grave. Dark Eclipse are at 2. I put him at 2 because once Dark Destroyer got hit, I just wanted to have big, strong, non-targetable 3000 attack monsters. So I got this guy in there to serve that purpose, and he also has the effect of negating traps, which can be very helpful at times, even though back row isn't as prevalent as it once was. Dark Destroyer at 1, this guy needs no explanation. He's one of the best cards in the deck. He's absolutely outstanding. Forerunner, I got him at 2 because since the entire deck revolves around paying life points to activate effects, he is going to be your means of recouping them if you need to. Plus, he's just another big non-targetable monster who can get you a special summon when he's destroyed. Landwalker, another one who gets you a special summon, plus he does have a pretty handy effect. It only comes into play every once in a while, but it can be really good, and he serves as a target for Lure of Darkness, which is my main method of draw power in the deck. 2 Slip Rider, he's your spell and trap removal, with the exception being Cosmojo, and he can also go into a special summon when he's destroyed, and you can overlay and make Cyber Dragon Infinity with this guy, which is pretty helpful by making Nova. Kozmo Dark Lady at 2. She is just an awesome card, one of my favorites in the deck. She is a pilot, so she can special summon the ships, even though she's level 5, and so she's the strongest pilot, but she also can negate a monster effect once per turn during either player's turn, which is really cool. Got Wicked Witch at 1. She's just, she's a good pilot, not the best, but she serves as a target for Lure of Darkness, and her effect of protecting herself for a turn, can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, can really, save you every once in a while if you just need to make it, put her in defense position, and survive to fight one more day, unless they, banish her or something like that. Kozmo Farm Girl, she is just really great. She gets the searches that you want if you can inflict battle damage to your opponent. I don't run her at 3 anymore, like when this deck first came out, when it was 3 Farm Girl, 3 Dark Destroyer, but she can still be really great. Ideally, if you have a ship on board, search Dark Destroyer with her, bring him out, destroy the ship, attack, and that's really the only time you're still going to be able to OTK with this deck is with a Farm Girl play for the most part. Sword Troopers, he has the effect of special summoning a Psychic type Kozmo, so one of the pilots from the graveyard with no hindrances after that, which is really great, plus he's an allure target. Strawman is just an amazing card. You special summon a ship, it's destroyed, you plus off of that, so you can just really set up plays if you want to get a Tin Can on the field during the end phase. You can do all sorts of, the possibilities are endless with Strawman. Max C at 2, just to make the deck a little faster, make your opponent second guess themselves, because this deck can be kind of slow. Kozmo Tin Can is the main engine of the deck. You always you just want to pop up his effect every end phase for the entire duel, ideally, He is just an amazing card that the deck would not be able to survive without him. 3 Lure of Darkness, since the deck revolves around getting monsters back from the Banished Zone with Kozmo Town, Allure is really the best method for draw power in the deck. Half the deck is dark monsters, so it's pretty much drawing 2 for no cost with this guy. Dark Hole, it's great. You can wipe your board and your opponent's board and get special summons off of the ships that get destroyed. So it just really has a lot of utility in this deck. I've really enjoyed using it ever since I put it in. Reasoning, I like just really for the sole purpose of that it gets you a special summon, and this deck has a lot of different levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So ever since I actually put Reasoning in Kozmo, I've yet to have my opponent guess right. It's worked really well for me because they usually tend to guess 4 or 8, and I've got one of each of those. I usually turn out just fine with Reasoning. It's a great card. Upstart Goblin to make the card a 39 card deck, just make it a little smaller, really. Terraforming, get out your Kozmo Towns, which is one of the most important cards in the deck. The entire deck wouldn't survive without it. If you play Kozmo and you just go a whole duel without ever getting access to your Kozmo Towns, it's horrible. You probably lost for that reason. Emergency Teleport, it's just a magical card in this deck for your Farm Girl or your Tin Cans. Absolutely great. Cosmojo at 2, non-targeting banishing removal, which is just amazing. It's a great trap card. I love it. I love the art. I just love that, it's like she's getting force choked by Dark Lady. And you plus off of destroying your own monster, you get a special summon, and you non-targeting banish. It's just great. From the field or the graveyard. It's an awesome card. Call of the Haunted. This card's great because you're sending cards to the graveyard with Tin Can. Some people like to run 3, I only run 2. It's really just a preference at this point. But it can really be sacky for you to have this card set up when you're activating Tin Can. And you can the possibilities are just crazy with it. And Solemn Strike. I could, do a strike and a warning. I used to run Torrential Tribute because it destroys cards and I can special summon off the destruction, but really it's super situational, so I decided to stick with a couple strikes. I like strike more than warning. I like the ability to negate a monster effect once it's already been on the board, and I have 2 strikes left in real life that I pulled from Breakers of Shadow, so I've always just really liked the card, so I like to run 2 in the deck, even though I could probably swap one out for a warning and still be just as fine. The extra deck is sort of an afterthought in this deck, but I will gloss over it. Like, I hardly ever overlay. Honestly, the only 2 overlays I go for are Nova to Infinity, and then, like, Phantom Fortress, Enter Blathmir. But it doesn't hurt to have the cards in the extra deck just in case, so they are in there. Leviair, Greenosaurus, Nova, Shark Fortress, which I will never make, Falcosaurus, Pleiades, Adrius, never gonna make, probably never gonna make this guy. Infinity, like I said, one of the few I go to. Big Eye, maybe with the Forerunners, sometimes. A couple other rank 7s just to have in there. Enter Blathmir, which can be very helpful. It's actually not hard at all to get 2 Dark Eclipsers on the field. And then True King VFD, really great new XYZ monster that you can make with the Enter Blathmirs. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a pure Kozmo build, so it might not be the best Kozmo deck you ever see in your life, but it's I really like it. I like the ratio, and depending on the right hand, this deck can still be pretty competitive, even though it's really not as consistent as it once was. You have to, have an ideal draw, but when you do, it's just so much fun. And like I said, I love the archetypes. So that's it. Thanks. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll go ahead and do some replays so you can see what it can do. Thank you.